How's it going? Today I'm gonna play and make the analysis of a samba in a piano solo. This is not a memorized piece where I've written all the details, so I can, in different repetitions, do different things. Alright, I can change textures, and there is a possibility of error also because I'm playing freely. Let's go, let's try to do it. Alright. I always commit some mistakes when I think I have to remember this, and this mess up with my mind a little bit. But let me talk a little bit about the different resources I use to create this samba arrangement. It's not arrangement because I change. It's not written. I didn't memorize it in this way. All right, but let's say some basic things I use here. Let's talk about the introduction. Note one thing about the melody, for example. It's the melody. It's very. It's not a legato. We play the syncopation. So. And here I'm combining two different resources that we can use in piano solo. The double function left hand to do this. So I'm doing the bass on the three fingers and using these two fingers to do the harmony. So it sounds complete. It not sounds. It misses a little bit of lower sounds, but you hear the harmony and the bass at the same time. Now I'm using just this technique. Just this technique to do this, alright? And when I do this introduction, when my hand gets a little lower, I start to I use another kind it's a voice where I broke in two parts and I create a rhythmic counterpoint between them. So in parts where you have longer notes, it's good to use this. For example, change textures in samba, you're gonna create the sensation of the different percussion instruments. So and now I've used another technique here, doing a lower, much more lower bass. The bass of this bass. Many people that plays bossa nova already know a little bit of this bass, but don't know that is a samba bass. And the importance is to play ghost notes and to accent and to play longer the beat too. Alright? So play just the introduction with this kind of texture. The other one. And the last one. this because of the more notes to fill the spaces, it sounds more percussive. And this last one, starting from the previous one. So it goes, alright? So these are three different textures I use to play the samba. Another one, it's that comes from the language of choro. It's to play some lines to connect the bass between the chords. For example, let me try to do one. Example, and so let me do a simple one. These lines come from the 7-string guitar in choro. They create a melodic line on the bass, and you can explore these possibilities. Let me try to explore. This is, I think, is the most difficult, and sometimes you have to repeat more times to play what you want to sound. Let's see the second beat, second part. These were bass lines that we do in choro. We can do much more complex, but it's it will you're gonna have to study in a stopping and see where the notes of each hand matches with each other. All right. Other thing that I've used. Another resource I've used is to play another style of samba, that is the partido alto. The partido alto has a stronger bass. It's a stronger line of bass, but this line it's imitating the pandeiro. So we do. Different influence of different languages of samba. So resource we can take advantage of doing, all right, in mixturing a little bit these Brazilian styles. What else more I can say? Let me try to play a little bit more, and I'm gonna remind the resource. Other thing it's interesting that talking about the melody, it's when we play this rhythm, this anticipation is very typical on the melodies of the samba. Note that notes weren't on the tempo. And you can create some contrast during notes on the beat and sometimes anticipating our eighth note before. One important thing to remind you is samba, choro and bossa nova are on 2/4 meter. So when I say anticipations of 8 notes, it's half beat, all right, and that is 16th note anticipation, that is more common. 16th note, 8th anticipation. Anticipation, all right, so we can explore this difference. For example, I played a lot of times, but it's interesting to create contrast. For example, different anticipations, and this makes the melody more sound with more swing. All right, let's continue playing. One important thing in samba is to constantly change the texture. I don't know if I said this. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it's interesting that you change the textures to sound to give the sensation you have when you are inside a samba group, because it's a lot of instruments that are playing together, so you have the different sensations. When you look to one instrument, you focus on your attention on that instrument. When you look to another one, you focus your attention, and you're gonna change. And in the piano solo, how we can do all the same time, so we can create the sensation of being a person inside a group that each time it's focusing his or her attention inside this different instruments. So this creates rhythmic richness in our play. All right, I'm sorry if I repeated myself, but this is very essential in the samba playing. I remind one very interesting thing. When you are starting to play samba, you're gonna find chords with 4 notes. They are simple, and one way to maintain the interest in these chords, you have the possibility of doing a more modern harmony, but there is a typical solution that I think it's very interesting when, for example, you are doing the double function left hand. If you don't know what is a double function left hand, I recommend searching my videos. You're gonna find it and how to play it. But you are playing here, for example, you are playing two measures or of one chord, and it's a little boring to do this, and we can connect the chords using the inversions. For example, so if you change the inversion, you're creating some bass line. And one important thing to sound inside the language is to make this bass line connects one chord with the next one through the neighbor tones. What is a neighbor tone? It's one step up or one step down, or half step up or half step down. So we're gonna, for example, I am in A7, and I'm playing A7 in the first beat, C sharp, A7 with C sharp on the bass, so I go to D minor. The next chord will be a G7, so I can play D minor with F on bass, and G7 with B on bass, and C major. So you're gonna create some and so this creates a lot of interest in the harmony. You're seeing bass lines and you continue having swing on the left hand. All right. What else more I could say about this language of samba? Let me play the B section. I think also to create more richness on the melodic part, it's to transform the melody, to use on the melody much more resource of the style. I transform the melody, samba melody, in a more samba melody. I transform some phrases of the song in samba cliches. So, for example, resting this note. For example, this note I can transform in a percussive note. So, for example, I transformed this syncopation in a kind of, it's not a trill, it's like a mordant, for example, repeating the notes. So when I have this opportunity, I create more, I give more language to the melody. Even the melodies inside the style, I give more, alright? And that is one situation that I like to do. For example, besides doing, I like to do, or, because when I play this, I play all the 16th notes, tac, 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 and I create the sensation of rhythm. So, for example, oh sorry, how it's strong, the swing, all right? So besides doing just this is typical also. Note that how I put it. Just stop at notes. So so I put cliches of the style inside the style. This reinforces the sensation of samba we have, because we are connecting ourselves with the style, with our memories of the style. Alright, so this live was a lot interesting and I liked very much to talk about it. I hope you have enjoyed also, and if you want to know a specific samba, if you want to hear some specific material, I invite you to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and leave your comment. That's gonna help me to produce a better content for you. And that's it. I hope I have helped you, and thanks for watching, and see you for more Brazilian accent improvisation channel every day here, every day with lives, with content, with quick tips, and the best you can have at the internet about Brazilian music. Bye bye.